Rural Finance is a niche operator in Victoria, and its ability to play in Victorian agriculture and to have that sort of connection between farmer and financing is absolutely unique. And our lenders and our staff have a really great affinity with the people that we serve, and that is a strength of who we are.
An organisation that's committed to our clients and committed to making a difference in regional and rural Victoria, and I think that passion is still permeates across the organisation.
Well, one of the things that we had to deal with when the Baillieu government was first elected in December 2010, of course, was the devastating floods. And it was fantastic to be able to rely on Rural Finance to be able to give us a lot of information and advice, but also to distribute the concessional loans and the grants.
And Rural Finance were a pivotal part of the government's response there, part of the Lower Loddon task force that looked at the farm buyback and the rescaping of the floodplain down there. And Jeff Blythe in particular from Rural Finance was part of that process and handled it with great sensitivity because it was a very emotional time for a lot of people, but with the proper financial disciplines that are necessary in any of those sorts of projects.
In the times of adversity that we had, Rural Finance was always there as a partner for the Braxton Brumby governments, and that included when there were fires in administering grants on behalf of the government, and they were a trusted agency that was there in all parts of rural Victoria, had contacts with the farming community, and that was a great comfort to government. So it's played a role. It's come a long way from where it sort of financed soldier settlers after the war in greenfields developments to being a key fabric in farming Victoria.
TCV is the government's debt financing agency, so as such we have a very strong association with Rural Finance by funding your debt and funding the loans that you make.
I enjoyed going to the awards each year when various young farmers who were receiving awards to continue their studies. I always enjoyed that. You saw the best and brightest and most enthusiastic, surrounded by family and friends at an award, and I did that 4 times. I enjoyed that.
And it was great to be able to see the people winning these awards and telling their stories. And it was even better, I think, that of the 6 recipients, there were 4 females and 2 males, and talking to the parents afterwards, gee whiz, they were very proud parents.
I come along to the scholarship dinners and enjoy immensely the young folk that RFC helps to go through their working life. It's been a strong association. I think if you look at the growth in Rural Finance and the loans that they're putting out there, that's a fairly exciting story, and it's great for us to be involved in that process. So if you look at when I first came into the job here at TCV nearly a decade ago, we had loans of $600 or $700 million. By 2009, they were up to 950, and now we've grown to this new milestone. So Rural Finance are a strong, growing part of our own balance sheet.
And it's fantastic to be able to see how concessional loans or loans to farmers can work, to be able to get that loan, to be able to tie them over during difficult times. And when you see that, when the market picks up and they're in a strong financial position, the farming community does well, and you've seen record exports of agricultural products coming out of Victoria. So it's a real key driver for this state, and it's a very important sector.
We believe that the future of agriculture is very, very bright, and this is something that is shared not only by ourselves but by government, and I think most people can see that agriculture has got a fantastic future.
Well, I think it's good that the government's got an agency that actually focuses on rural Victoria. It's a very important part of the Victorian economy. I think the work that they actually do with farmers and the work that they actually do in that rural community is very positive. I've had over the years some opportunity to sit and meet with some of the people that are the recipients of loans, and they do wonderful things.
One of the biggest challenges for Victoria is how you keep your young people on farms, how you keep them generally in small towns and farms. And so there's a range of ways that you can do that. And one of them is to assist with the purchase of land or for the first farm and the loans that are provided or the subsidised loans in those areas. So Rural Finance has played a role in there.
Been a great program for young people who want to actually have a stake in agriculture and own some of their own farm. And I think something like $250 million has now been put into that program. So outstanding success in assisting young people to own their own farm.
I think, first of all, the way that the staff have had to adopt to the changes that have happened over the last 2 years. They have embraced this very well. It hasn't been easy, but, we sit here having achieved at least a $1.5 billion book. I mean, that is a significant achievement. All our staff are focused on this, and this is the outcome, because rural finance achieves what it puts its mind to. And in this particular case, we have achieved ourselves at 6% growth, which is a $1.5 billion book. 15% market share. We are one of the gorillas in regional Victoria in agriculture.
When I joined the organisation and doing my due diligence on what the organisation was and its balance sheet, I remembered that was $500 million in loan book, and a sensational effort that we're celebrating this week, that we're now tripling that from only 9 years ago.
Well, congratulations to the Chair, to the CEO and the board members of Rural Finance and all the very hard-working people that work at Rural Finance. I wish I was able to give this message direct, but they have done an outstanding job. To have a loan book now $1.5 billion, Rural Finance Corporation have done an outstanding job in this role.
Well, I think it's an absolute credit to those that have gone before, but particularly those of the Rural Finance now, that they now have a loan book of $1.5 billion, and the fact that, as I've said before, a lot of people in country Victoria view Rural Finance as a lender of first choice when it comes to finance for not only purchasing their farm, but for additional capital to take on new technology, to try new ideas. And the feedback I get is they find the Rural Finance staff they deal with in doing that very understanding of how agriculture actually works.
The government's very elastic about what it wants. It's sort of one day it's core activities and then suddenly it's a lot of others. And Rural Finance has always responded very professionally with great empathy for rural communities. So big congratulations. These milestones should be celebrated, and there's a lot to celebrate.
Congratulations, obviously. These things don't happen accidentally. They happen because you've got good policies, you've got a good board, you've got a good management structure, and I know them all very well. But importantly, there's obviously good people out in the workforce of RFC that are connecting with those farmers and putting the right lines in and meeting with the right people. And it's a tribute to all of you that you've actually achieved that. So congratulations from TCV for a job well done.
Well, guess what? This is our chance to celebrate success. Last night the board were very clear about this, and they gave some very glowing things on our farewell to one of our directors about celebrating success. So this is the chance for all of our staff to celebrate success.
It's been a team effort, and I think a consolidated team. We're celebrating $1.5 billion book, which is diversely spread across our 3,200 clients across Victoria. So I'd like to pass on the board's appreciation. We have actually really achieved something, and it's a great time to reflect on that. So my heartfelt thank you to everyone who's contributed to the organisation that it is.
Sit in the present and recognise that this is a magnificent achievement. You're going to hear a lot of people tell you how great this achievement is and celebrate it. It's your opportunity to celebrate this success. And more than that, tell other people, because we need to be able to show people that there is a great future for agriculture and there's even a better future for rural finance.